Well, hello, General Hospital Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Monday, December the 2nd. Oh my God, 2024, last month of the year. Can you believe it? Wow. Anyway, let's see what happened in GH land. Pretty good episode. We have Alexis. Oh, she comes in that courtroom. She's gunning for Rick and she tears into him. How could he browbeat a grieving mother? How could he this, that, and the other? Rick gave as good as she gave, right back to him. And he was telling her, of course, what he always says: anybody who has eyes can see. She completely favors Christina over Molly. And she says, that is absolutely not true. And he goes, oh, it's 100% true. And he says, the only reason you're mad is it was your daughter that I was cross examining on the witness stand. You're a lawyer, Alexis. You've done the same thing, but never a grieving mother who's just buried. He goes, it is my job to fight for my client. And that's exactly what I did. And so she was talking about, how could you? Ava Jerome, is the one, the reason why the baby is dead. He goes, no, you're a lawyer, it was a horrible accident. You're just so busy placating Christina, not even bothering to tell her the truth. You look at the facts, Alexis, and I presented the facts. The facts are Christina went to that hotel room. She wouldn't have if she would have known that Ava was gonna push her out a window. He goes, Ava didn't push her out a window. But the fact of the matter is, your daughter's volatile, and that's what accidents are called. Why they're called accidents. You don't have fair forewarning that certain incidents are going to happen. But she is just as much in fault at fault of the accident, if not more, than Ava. She went to Ava's apartment. And you're doing her a disjustice for not telling her the truth, right? And she's like, how can you sleep at night? How could you do that to your daughter's sister? He lost his temper. Then he came back. He says, don't you dare. Because she goes, you're a horrible father. Oh, I'm not a horrible father. Molly knows I love her. I doubt. And he goes, Molly thinks you're a horrible mother, which she doesn't. She goes, Molly does not think I'm a horrible mother, which is so interesting. When you know something is a lie, it doesn't ignite you. When he says Molly thinks you're a horrible mother, Alexis is like, no, she doesn't think I'm a horrible mother. Didn't phase her. And it didn't phase her not because she doesn't care about Molly. She just knows Molly doesn't think she's a horrible mother. She just knows that. But she also knows she placates Christina. She really does. Her and Sonny. Oh my God. And Sonny was talking to Christina. I am so sick of his advice to Christina. He was telling her they cannot control the verdict the jury's going to give. Case in point, they can't. But she has to be prepared to still just move forward if the verdict doesn't go her way. And she was talking about, I wake up every morning wanting revenge, wanting Ava to pay. That's what gets me out of bed. Sonny had the nerve to tell her, embrace it. If that's what it takes to get her out of bed, revenge and anger, then have that anger because it's moving you forward, not that. What kind of father doesn't say, let's get you some help? Because she's not going to grief counseling. Let's get you into some groups. Let's get you some private therapy. I've got the money. Hey, I got enough money the guy could come do house calls. Or woman, man or woman. But what he told her, he goes, if the judicial system fails you, Sonny says, I won't. And she looks at him. Mm-hmm. See, she's taking it. Yeah, you gonna kill Ava, which we don't know what Sonny's thinking. But is that the right message you would want Christina, of all people, to have? No. Because, see, the next time Christina sees her father, you want to know what she's going to say? Dad, how's the plan going for making Ava pay? Right there in the middle of the restaurant. No, no, I know we shouldn't be talking about this, but I just want, you still on track, right? And next time she sees Ava, she wants to call the scene. My dad, go make sure you pay. See, Christina is a hot mess of an adult, and her father's making her worse. 100%. So Alexis walks in because Sonny had taken Christina back to Alexis's place, and Alexis walks in and she goes, "How are you?" Christina's like, "I'm fine." She goes, "Really? I thought you would be really upset with, the way things happened went in court." And she goes, "No, I talked to my dad, you know, and he helped me see things." And Alexis looks at her, and Sonny's just standing there like, and so she goes over, she hugs her, and she's looking at Sonny like, what's happening here? Why is my daughter thinking like a rational, calm, sane adult? See, which is what she should think. But that's not Christina. So Alexis is just looking like, something ain't right here. And guess what, Alexis? Something ain't right. It's not right at all. So then we have Rocco talking to Lulu, and he's the one that told her she's been in a coma for 4 years, which I thought was 5 years, but it's 4 years, I guess. And she was just like, "Oh my God, what?" And then they talk a bit. She doesn't ask him about her sister Charlotte, which is interesting. Dante walks in, and boy, was he looking handsome for some reason today. I don't know why. But she's like, "Oh, hello, stranger." And he's like, "Lulu, you're here." And so he says, "I need to get you to the hospital." She goes, "Nope. Last time I went there, I was asleep for 4 years." And she goes to move towards Dante to hug him, and she kind of gets weak and loses her footing, which, by the way, she still shouldn't be up that long. Matter of fact, her little incision should be bleeding right about now. But he goes, "Rocco, come help me with your mother. Let's get her at least to the couch for now." So they sit her down on the couch, and he goes, "She's probably hungry, son. Can you go and get her something to eat?" So he's looking like, "I don't want to leave her, but okay, okay." So he goes. And that's when Lulu says, "Okay, fill me in." Or he goes, "No," he tells her, "I want you to tell me what happened." And she told him Cyrus Renault was there making decisions, and he was planning on having her moved in the morning. And she's like, "I was not going to let that happen." He goes, "Why was Cyrus Renault there?" You know, and he said he was, talking to the doctors. He's over the decision making over my care. He goes, no, I know Laura wouldn't do that, right? So, um, she just says, "I hitchhiked here," and she didn't say Cody's name, but in reality, why would you think to say Cody's name? He only wrote it down on a piece of paper. You wouldn't assume that Dante knew this stranger that picked her up. So I mean that was perfectly doable. So he said, "Okay, so where was the first place you went?" She said, "To my house." that I guess is not my house. There was a little boy in there that I scared. And he goes, I guess somebody else has my house. He goes, Maxie is living in your house. And she goes, oh my God, that was James. And he said, yeah. And she goes, oh my God, Maxie must be so proud of him. And so she then says, and then I came here. Now, I told you they don't live close. How she got from Maxie's there, I don't know. So he goes, okay, why here? She said, because I knew Tracy would tell me what has been going on because it's obvious things are different. And I knew I was coming to find Tracy. See, yeah, she was gravitating to Tracy, which was interesting. She knew her mother was in town. She didn't gravitate to her mother's house, and her mother was home with her ADA working, right? So, cut to Lucky. He comes in and he goes, Mom, can we talk? We need to talk in private. It's about Lulu. So she has her ADA go in the back room. And she goes, What about Lulu? And he says, She's awake. And she's like, Why didn't they call me? He goes, Mom, they tried to call you all day. We've tried to reach you all day. But you were on the docks with that dock fire. You probably had no reception. See, I don't know docks. I don't know if docks don't have reception. However, every time they've showed the dock, the piers, when people get shot and thrown off of them, those cell phones are working over there. But okay. So anyway, she's so happy and he shows her the video. And Lucky point blank says, Mom, did you authorize Cyrus Renault to be able to make medical decisions for Lulu? She goes, why would I do that? No, she goes, well, that's what he has the people at Turning Woods, the administrator, thinking. She goes, Cyrus has been visiting her at Turning Woods? And he goes, yeah. So she goes, okay, that must be why Lulu is trying to escape, because she goes, she has this look of determination on her face, and she's creating a diversion, a very Spencer move, you know. So she goes, see, Laura's gonna, she's gonna let Cyrus have it, right? And what I want to know is, why was he trying to have her transferred out of state? Something, Cyrus is gonna be a problem in the future, a huge problem, and I don't know why, where Lulu is concerned. It's interesting to me. So anyway, and then another thing I didn't get, how come nobody called Laura? Dante didn't call Laura. Lulu didn't say, I gotta let my mother know. None of that. The one person who is actually over her medical decisions, which is her mother, nobody could think of calling. Wow. So Dante's telling her, Lulu, oh, she goes, I have one question for you. I have this huge scar and it's covered by a band-aid. Why? He goes, oh, and Rocco is there because he brought the sandwich in. And poor Danny. He's listening around the corner of the door, a little tear in his eye, because Rocco got his mother back and Rocco's happy. And Danny's mother's gone. I think Danny's gonna he's gonna act out a bit. But I mean, understand, you know what I'm saying? With Danny's gonna have some emotions that are unprocessed. And I think Jason just might be the parent he needs to help him with that. I really believe that. So she goes, I've got this scar. And Rocco says, you had a liver transplant, Mom. And Dante, she goes, a liver transplant? And Dante says, you know what? That's let's get her to the hospital, son. We could fill her in later on the details. But Lulu, you need to get checked out. And so she looked at him and she goes, okay, but I've got one thing first. I got one thing I gotta ask you. And that's where the scene ended with Lulu. I think she's going to ask him, where is Charlotte? That's what I'm thinking she's going to ask Dante. Is where's my daughter? And then she's going to find out nobody knows Valentine has her. But anyway, that's what I'm thinking is going to happen there. So we have Drew. He's coming from the lake. See, they have a lake. Where is he surfing at? That's not an ocean front property. The Quartermain estate never has been. It's a lake. I don't get that. How you going to surfboard on a lake? Is there something I don't know about? So anyway, he sees Jason. And Jason says, we need to talk. And he goes, I don't have nothing to say to you. And he turns and he's going to walk away. And Jason says, it's about the children. Dante and I have made a decision. And Drew stopped and he looked. And he goes, make it quick. And he goes, I'm moving in here to be with Danny. Dante's moving here to be with Rocco. And he goes, well, then Scout and I are moving out to DC right away. And Jason said, oh, I've already talked to Monica. She's all for it. Of course, Monica's all for her. Jason? Living under her roof? Absolutely. Monica's all for it. Right? And he goes, you do what you want, but I won't have my daughter subjected to your danger. And Jason looked at him and he goes, by the way, pointing to his bruises and then his face, he goes, oh, that won't happen again. He says, but you know you had it coming. I love Jason with that. He said, you know you had it coming. And he goes, like I said, I won't have my daughter subjected to violence. And Jason says, she's your child, she's your daughter. You do, it's on you, the decision you make. And Carly was walking by. Why? I don't know. Why was Carly there? Because she wouldn't have necessarily known Jason was going to be there. I don't know why Carly conveniently walked by the boathouse. So she hears, she goes, you're taking Scout to DC? And Drew just looks at her. Why? And she's walking up to them. And he said, because I'm not going to have my daughter around violence. And she looked, she goes, what? And Jason said, I'm moving in with Danny. And Carly did a double take. You doing what? He goes, I'm moving in to be with Danny. And Drew says, and that's why I'm moving out, because of the brand of danger he brings with him. And so Carly says, look, you two, whatever you guys got going, you need to squash it, because your children will pick up on it and it will cause a problem for your children. Sam would not want that. And so Drew says, the decisions he makes in his life is dangerous. And Jason said, I'm moving in here to be with my son. Whatever he chooses to do, he could do. And so Carly says, okay, you know what, both of you, stop it. Just stop it. You need to squash this. You squash it. You do this for Sam. This was her wishes. Honor her wishes. So in the end, of course, Drew ends up coming around fine. He'll stay there, which you were going to do anyway, Drew. Period. Jason is not going to be there that much. I mean, come on now. Drew, you ain't even going to be there. You're going to be in Washington, D.C. Get out of here. Commuting. But, realistically, from New York to Washington, there it is a commute. You take the fast train, right? I think there's a real fast one. But anyway, so that's going to be interesting, and I'm loving it. That whole antagonistic situation going on. And Molly and TJ have a heart to heart, or heart to heart enough. And she was just telling him it hurt her too much to talk to him about the loss of the baby. And he goes, Molly, but we're supposed to be able to lean on each other. And it hurt me too much not to be able to talk to you. And so he goes, you have been avoiding me. And she goes, we've been avoiding each other. And it was easier for me to talk to other people. He goes, oh, you could talk to other people and you couldn't talk to me. You are my everything, Molly. We need to get past this together, but a lot of couples can't handle the loss of a child, and we're growing further and further apart. And she goes, and I hate that too, TJ. I hate it. And so he was asking her, they end up talking about their feelings for the trial. And she says that she feels that it was a horrible accident. It was an absolute accident. And oh, he blew up. He says, I don't. He goes, I'm mad. I'm angry. Christina never should have put herself in that situation. She put my baby in danger. And I'm mad and angry at Ava. I do believe she escalated the situation. Oh, he says, no, I don't agree. He goes, but we can both have our own feelings, but we need, as long as we can move together as a couple. He's like, Molly, we've been together for 13 years. I can't imagine my future. You're my it. I can't imagine my future without you. And she goes, and I can't imagine my future without you. And he goes, but I need to know that we're going to move forward. I mean, I want to have a family with you, Molly. I want to have children. And he goes, not now, but I do want to hear from you that you are in agreement for. And I thought, see, for one thing, TJ, it's too soon for that conversation. It really, really is. Secondly, I knew Molly was going to balk at it, which she did. She says, I cannot go through this again. All I think about when I get up, when I go to bed all day is the loss of Irene. And I'm doing everything I can just to keep my head above water. The thought of going through this again, I can't, TJ. I can't go through it again now or ever. I'm sorry. And he looked at her, and I thought, yeah, that's a bitter pill to take. Let's see. You're gonna give her that because she was the one that wanted a baby right then because she couldn't have any. That was her, not him. She got him invested in that. So now with your non-married self, domestic partner selves, this is the end of it. And it's not the end of it because they're domestic partners, but I'm saying TJ is going to they're going to bring on someone that's going to want marriage and want kids. And watch, Molly's going to end up being able to be pregnant. They're going to do that because the doctor said it. I mean, my thing is in time, she's never even had any procedures to clear up the scarring. Nothing. Because it was too soon after the diagnosis that she decides she just had to be a mother. So anyway, he told her, he came out with his bag and he says, I'm just going to get a room. He said, because I feel we need some time apart. We need some time to process. you know, our feelings. And she just looks at him like, okay, crying, wasn't boo-hooing. Now, when he walked out the door, she rushed to the door, touches it, turns around and slides down. This picture you see him. And when he gets out the door, he sets his bag on the ground and he slides down the back of the door and he's crying, crying too, because he knows this is the end of us. It is. They drifted apart. They have nothing. And so unfortunately that's the end of TJ and Molly, but you know, we saw that coming, didn't we? Everybody saw that coming. So I think that is it. I covered all the parts. We're going to go to comment corner, comment corner. I'm going to go from the top down this time. Let me go to my trusty dusty stopwatch. And here we go. We have Quita. Quita says, making Lucky a detective like Sam was since he's investigating Sam's death and Lulu's escape. I didn't know Lucky was investigating Sam's death. Sly says, how can Cyrus be around Lulu since he put her in the coma 4 years ago? Cyrus ordered Julian to plant the bomb in an attempt to kill Jason. Lulu and the others were injured instead. Clemmy says, did anyone notice Lois said grandchildren? And when Chase told Brooklyn they were experiencing this for the first time, she had a look on her face. I'm beginning to think she is Gio's mother. She is called Aunt Lois, but I think she's Grandma Lois. They look as if they're hiding something. Gladys says, with in all caps, I just love the daily recap lady. She raises her hand, she scratches her head. You doggone right, I do. It's a habit. uh, she takes her water bottle. She laughs. She makes me laugh. I wish she were my sister living near me. God bless you. Jesus loves you. Well, thank you, Gladys. I mean, that's what the Comic Corner is all about. It's like talking to your soap opera with your family member. That's what we're doing here. It's what Comic Corner is all about. Thank you so much for your comment. Latrice says, Happy Thanksgiving, daily recap, lady. Let's see. Daily recap, lady. This together for the first time. Ashley says, Rocco, you've been, and you had all these things together. I didn't know what you meant. I am so happy, Ashley, that at the end of your comment, you put soap opera rapid aging syndrome. I didn't know what you were talking about. Thank you for doing that. Yesterday's episode ended with Lulu having her brain blown up when she tried to process that Rocco was tall enough to join the NBA. That's a lot of growth in 6 days. Remember, she thinks she's only been missing for a few days. As super fun as it was to see Lulu hiking through Port Charles late at night, why did she go to the Quartermains? Does Maxie live close to the Quartermains? Maxie does not live close to the Quartermains. And I don't know how Lulu got there. She didn't have a phone to call an Uber. And then she says, this is a great cliffhanger for the day before Thanksgiving. I am fully vested in the Lulu story. I'm looking forward to Monday. Wow, I haven't said that in a long time. I know right now General Hospital is getting good. DL says, I'm actually glad the Lulu story is going fast and not dragging out for months like Reva Shane is alive from Guiding Light. There were where no one saw her for 6 months. I would blow my brains out if that was the case. I would not say one thing about Lulu if they had her lurking around for 6 months. That would make no sense. Also, side note, loving Alexa Havens take on Lulu. She's definitely made it her own. She sure has. She's like, look, I've been out of work for a minute and I'm happy to have this job and I'm going to show you what I could do, y'all. I'm seeing her and believing her as Lulu like that, even though I accidentally call her babe all the time, but y'all know what I mean. This Chemo Beauty says, Happy Thanksgiving Daily Recap Lady. Sometimes when we fast forward through a scene, we miss key moments. When Olivia and Lois were talking about babies and being the first time grandmothers, Lois had a very suspicious look on her face. When Chase and Brooklyn were talking about babies, Brooklyn also had the same suspicious look on her face. I think Gio is her son. And Gladys says, Whose son? Lois's or Brooklyn's? And this Chemo Broody says, I think Brooklyn's son. And Jackie says, I agree. I think they're going to do that too. I just felt they decided they wanted to let other stories unfold before they did that. And then Pete Merle says, Happy Thanksgiving Daily Recap, lady. And by the way, I'm happy everybody, and I'm hoping everybody had a safe and happy Turkey Day as well. You know, those days off right in the middle of a good storyline were rough, right? Happy Thanksgiving Daily Recap, lady. Will someone who knows Lulu please acknowledge her? Jeez, Lois. I know. Well, we did. Rocco did. Don says, I think Gio's Brooklyn's son. I think Lois gave him to the mother that raised him. Well, she really didn't raise him, so that he would be close by, because I think she died when he was like 5. Brooklyn was going to tell Chase something deep, but they got interrupted and never went back to it. I know. Instead of having an abortion, she probably gave the baby up for adoption, because, you know, Brooklyn was always very selfish. And not that it's selfish giving the baby up for adoption, but perhaps she was Lulu's age when she got pregnant. You know, Lulu was 16 when she got pregnant with Dylan's child. So, you know, that absolutely could be. Um, Brooklyn was going to tell Chase something deeper. They were interrupted. Lois said to Olivia, my grandchildren. And she keeps making funny faces talking to Gio. I don't think Brooklyn knows that Gio is hers. Oh, really? But I think she did have a child. That's why Lois is so invested in him, which would be interesting because, you know what? Brooklyn can't keep water either. I'm surprised, or I will be surprised if she did know he's her son, because Brooklyn's expressions, her feelings, and everything show on her face. And I don't see her looking at him like a mother with any maternal instincts. I don't see that. Lisa says Natalia should have told the truth. Rick is defending Ava in the custody case. If Sonny used Natalia as a character witness, Rick could follow up on her 911 call. Her testimony may come back to bite her. We'll see. P. Merle says, Why would Sonny use Natalia? I know. He's got the pharmacist. By the way, that whole pharmacist thing has not, you know, isn't that interesting? Why did Jason never tell Sonny that Ava did that? I don't get that. And then Lisa says to P. Merle, why is Natalia, what may Natalia can testify how good of a parent, or maybe Sonny is, and what Ava did to her daughter Blaze, even though it was Natalia's words that hurt her. That is true. And then Velda says, I'm over the Ava story. I just want Drew exposed for all his bad deeds. I want to see Willow find out about Drew and her mother. Henry said, agreed. Claire said, what I 100% agree. Gladys says, Drew was with Nina before Willow slept with him when Michael found out and told Jason, who then went and gave Drew a beating and a black eye, and Willow got her first aid kit to help bandage his eye right in front of Michael, which I think was cruel. And he went and found Sasha. He went and found Sasha before that. He found Sasha that very night he found out they kissed when Ned and Tracy were trying to blackmail him, and slept with her and got her pregnant. We all know that since she lost her and Brando's baby, she'll probably uh, be happier than ever. I think so too. And I'm hoping they let her be happy. Tina says to Gladys, the eye patch was cruel, but it was after Michael and Sasha hooked up. Yes, I agree. It was after. Okay, the last comment for Comment Corner. Wendy says the scene with Lucky and Cyrus was odd. Why Lucky allowed him to talk to him so disrespectfully. What do you mean disrespectfully? These are two grown men. Lucky's not the boss of Cyrus. Cyrus isn't the boss of Sonny. They could both talk. I mean, Sonny, Lucky. They could both talk to each other any way they want to. I think Cyrus killed Sam. He was working a crazy plan to do something. Also, is it anyone? Uh, how is it everyone is so concerned about Lulu? Now, no visitors. I know it's what I was saying, except for the evil one, Cyrus. No one cared because she was improving. Odd. I'm glad that Lulu. I'm I'm gonna like Lulu ex babe, yeah, because she's smart enough to get away from Cyrus. And where is Laura? Well, we found out where Laura was working with her assistants. I guess baby Ace was upstairs with the nanny, right? Okay, Laura. So anyway, everybody, that's it. That's it for today's recap of General Hospital.